When building a gaming PC, there's one component you should never skimp out on, and I'm here to make sure you buy what's right for you. If it wasn't obvious already, I am talking about the power supply. And I'd say there are three things you should take into consideration when buying one. Number one is the amount of power it needs to supply. If you're running more of a budget-oriented build, say for example an RX 6600 and a Ryzen 5 5600, you typically don't need anything more than like a 550 to 600 watt power supply, so there's no point in going for a bigger power supply except for future-proofing, but that's definitely a story for another day. Number two is the type of power supply, either ATX, SFX, or SFXL. ATX power supplies are the full-sized power supplies, and SFX and SFXL power supplies are the ones that are tailored towards smaller form factor builds. So you have to make sure that the power supply does fit in your case. And number three is the manufacturer, or ODM. And by this I mean making sure that you buy a good, reliable, known power supply from a reputable brand. There is a power supply tier list that I 100% recommend you read when deciding, and they're even categorized by tiers. And you can check out an insane amount of information there, so that you can make sure you are buying the right and a good product. Personally, I recommend that you go for at least a tier C power supply in any sort of situation, but it does depend on the type of your build. If it's a higher end build, go for an A tier, and if it's a mid-range build, go for a B or C tier, depending on your hardware. And also a few brands that have never failed me are MSI, Corsair, Cooler Master, ASUS, to name a few. The link to the tier list is in the description, and I hope this helped.